But fourth is the flood control scam. The biggest corruption scandal in the Philippines ever.
Nasa harap mo si First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. Di ba siya mapahiya niya? While he is speaking there sa stage, nasa harap niya si First Lady. Okay, heto po. Heto na po yung video, ipapakita natin at pakikinggan natin itong si Senator at Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, no? Patungkol po sa nagkita sila ni First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, nagkatabi sila, nagkausap. Ito po yung official speech niya during the Filipino-Chinese event. Okay? Mamaya ipakikinggan natin yan kasi si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano dyan may pinariringgan. Ayan. Kasi nasa harap si Lam. May pinariringgan siya. Pero bago ang lahat guys, bago natin ito pag-uusapan, paki-like muna at saka paki-share itong ating video para guys, kakalat ito sa taong bayan ha. Importante na maka-like and share po tayo para aabot ito sa malawak na audience. Okay? Like and share na. At sa mga hindi pa nakasubscribe, subscribe na po kayo para updated kayo lagi sa ating mga balita. No? Libre lang ang mag-subscribe sa YouTube. Okay? Ayan, ito nga. No? Now, ano ba ang nangyari kanina? Kahapon, kanina, kumakalat itong balita patungkol po na nag-uusap itong si Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano at itong si First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. Yung talagang nagbulong-bulungan. Siguro, dahil silang dalawa ay both sila na in-invite doon sa event, ay parang respeto na lang sa isa't isa, parang professional na lang sila. Pero kitang-kita mo doon, plastic talaga silang dalawa. Especially itong si First Lady. Plastic siya ni Cayetano. Si Cayetano naman, syempre, nirespeto niya yung First Lady, no? May video akong pinakita kagabi, di ba? Ngayong umaga, pakikinggan natin itong during the event, nagsalita po itong si Senator Alan Cayetano. Okay, yan ang pakikinggan natin at magre-react po tayo sa kanyang official speech niya dito. Okay, play.
Good evening. Allow me to talk a little bit about a parallel to a biblical story to the journey of the Filipino-Chinese. The Bible talks about a persistent widow. There was this widow who suffered injustice, but she couldn't get justice. So she went to the judge in his office and said, "Judge, give me justice." The judge said, "I don't fear God. I don't fear people," did not listen to the widow. So the widow went back day after day after day. She was not listened to. So he went to his house, probably talked to his wife, probably waited outside and told the judge, "Judge, please give me justice." Because she was so persistent, the judge finally came out and said, "I don't fear God nor man. But because you are so persistent, dahil ang kulit-kulit mo, tell me what I can do and I will give you justice." Growing up in the 1980s, talking about the American dream, I did not really feel that in the US. My mother's American. But I did not see the possibility of an American dream here in the Philippines. But any one of us who had a Filipino-Chinese friend had that story of someone coming from China in the 50s, 40s, or 60s, wearing plain jeans, a plain white or black t-shirt, maybe a jacket, slippers, starting in a restaurant, in a hotel, maybe sa City Hall ni Mayor Isko, starting in a manufacturing company, after 5 years, nakabihis na, medyo nasa supervisor na. After 10 years, manager na. After 25 years, siya na ang may-ari ng kumpanya. That was my impression of the American dream growing up, looking at the success of the Filipino-Chinese. Maybe at this time, I just want to acknowledge Dr. Lucio Tan, of course, the Chairman Emeritus of the Federation, Mr. Victor Lim, thank you very much, sir, Mr. President, for the invitation. Your Excellency, Ambassador of China, Ambassador Kwan, thank you for the friendship of your country and our country. The ambassadors, Your Excellencies, especially of ASEAN, thank you for being here tonight. Ambassador Francis Chua, Honorary President, the immediate past President, a brother in Christ, Dr. Cecilio Pedro, good evening, sir. Mr. Angel Nu, Tito Angel, Honorary President, Domingo Yap, Honorary President, Jimmy Tang, Honorary President, John K. Tan, Honorary President, Dr. Alfonso Uy, Honorary President, and Mr. Tan Ching, Honorary President. Napakarami niyong President para kayong Senate. Mr. Jeffrey Nang, Executive...
ano siya, no? May pinariringgan siya, di ba? Dami niyong president. Kasi alam niyo naman na atat yung maging Senate President itong si Win Gatchalian. Di ba? Ano siya parang talagang finors nila. Dito, pinariringgan niya. Pahiya tuloy, di ba? Pahiya. Ganyan lang.
Why don't they go to the proper forum, for example?
Wait mo na, play.
Vice President. So after my youth in the 1980s, I became councilor in 1992, 21 years old. Wala pong Chinese community masyado sa Taguig. Wala pang BGC at that time. So yung exposure ko sa Chinese community came on 1998 when my dad was elected senator and I was elected congressman. And from an American dream, para bang usual suspect ang Filipino-Chinese businessman. Whether he was small, micro-entrepreneurship, medium, or a big businessman, parating target. Target ng BIR, target ng DOJ, target ng customs. If you remember, you invited me sometime 2013 because BIR Commissioner Henares was supposed to be your keynote speaker during your anniversary. But instead of congratulating you, if you remember, she scolded you about paying the right taxes. And when she left, I think I was there the next day, some of you were telling me, sir, why is the BIR scolding us when most of us here are importers and traders? We deal more with the Bureau of Customs than there, and we were even given an award by the Bureau of Customs last month. So my point is perception and reality. After I was told that, sabi ko, bakit hindi niyo ako ini-invite? Nagbigay pa kayo ng award sa lahat ng nasa gobyerno na Filipino-Chinese. Sabi nila, ba't ka namin bibigyan ng award? Amerikano ka. Amerikano nanay mo. Sabi ko, my grandfather, Blas Luna, is Chinese. His daughter, Juliana Luna, is half Chinese, which was my father's mother. Kaya kami nagkalupa sa Pateros because my great-grandfather was a Chinese surveyor. Again, perception and reality. Sometime in 2018, President Xi Jinping visited the Philippines. It was announced that it is the golden age of the relationship between China and the Philippines. I'm not a man of regret. Just like Mayor Isko, we face troubles every day, see where God brings us and try to do our best. Di ba, Mayor? Ganun yung buhay eh. But there's only one thing looking back that I regret. That I had to resign to run for Congress and to run for Speaker before signing the joint exploration between the Philippines and China. No, weeks lang sana inabot ko yung signing. If we signed that, hindi sana ganun kalaki ang problema natin ngayon sa presyo ng langis at saka ng natural gas because it takes 5 to 7 years for that. We could have signed it in 2018. Perception. Everyone against it and against China was saying it's not a fair deal. China was willing to give us a deal better than Malampaya and Shell. They were willing to give us that deal. But because of all the noise and perception rather than reality, we were not able to do that. One thing I noticed about Chinese Filipinos and Chinese in general, when people see crisis, you see opportunity. Hindi po ba? In every opportunity, baka may business opportunity dyan. In every crisis. Sabi nga nung iba, never let a good crisis go to waste. It's true, in every crisis there are losers, there are winners. And this generation, the young men and women, the Miss and Mr. Chinatown, no? I guess they're between 20 to 25 years old. I saw them a while ago. Can you imagine 5 crises in 10 years? During Duterte's time, it depends on what side you were on. If you were pro-Duterte, you would say it's a crisis, it's a narco-politics crisis. We had a problem with drugs. If you're on the other side, you'd say it's a human rights crisis, ang daming extrajudicial killing. If you're somewhat in the middle, apareho. Problema droga, problema patayan. Before the Duterte administration ended, or in the middle, COVID-19, second crisis. 2022, right before the election, akala natin medyo yung taas ng presyo because of the Ukraine-Russia crisis was already it, not knowing that was just a prelude to the US-Israel-Iran war now that is driving up all the prices, creating all the problems, not only inflation, logistics, etc., problems with fertilizers that we will experience in next planting season. No? But fourth is the flood control scam. The biggest corruption scandal in the Philippines ever.
Nasa harap mo si First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. Di ba siya mapahiya niya? Oh, while he is speaking there sa stage, nasa harap niya si First Lady. Sino ang mastermind sa flood control? Ha?
If we handle it correctly, we can eliminate corruption in the country. If we don't
Ikaw naman, Senator Alan, pinariringgan mo talaga?
handle it properly, we will have the biggest cover-up in our history. Number 5, not more of a crisis, but a potential crisis, AI. AI will change everything. So can you imagine in 10 years, 2016 to 2026, our young people, your children, have faced this. So in one sense, bugbog sila. On the other sense, they're probably more prepared for the future than we are. So today, as we celebrate 128 years of independence, and as I fight for the independence of the Senate, we also celebrate our friendship with China. Just like the Filipino-Chinese, marami kayong struggle sa kalye. You are not where you are today because you did not struggle. You are here today with such a big event with the top leaders of our country from different fields because you struggled with us, for us. Maybe we can do the same between the countries of the Philippines and China. With the economic crisis that is here and will get worse, who will help each other? Neighbors. Neighbors. We have real problems with China in the South China Sea. But we also have real projects of friendship. When we had a problem in Marawi, China had to retool their armory or their factories for guns because we requested guns and they were not making those kind of guns. They helped us during our time of need. So, it's not about being pro-US or being pro-China. It's about being pro-Philippines and saying all of them should be our friends. We should not have enemies.
Yan,
And
palakpakan.
that is what Filipino-Chinese is about. You don't want enemies. But whether it's in business, whether it's in government, somehow enemies just come along. Believe it or not, I'm more diplomatic, but somehow trouble finds me. But I'd rather be nowhere tonight but then celebrating with you because through your achievements, each and every table here, I see there is much hope. So again, thank you for this opportunity. Mabuhay ang Filipino-Chinese, mabuhay ang relationship ng ating mahal na bansang Pilipinas and
Ayan.
China.
Usapan natin itong si Win Gatchalian, no? Itong si Win Gatchalian. Ano ba ang sabi ni Win Gatchalian? Ito lang naman ang sinabi niya, oh. Ayan. Sabi niya, during the Blue Ribbon Consultative Meeting yesterday, NBI Director Milvin Matibag informed the sectors present that there is an potential threat to the Senate building and the Senate premises. Yan ang sabi ni Senator Win Gatchalian. Ang tanong, maniniwala ba tayo dito? Ako, sa totoo lang, hindi ako maniniwala dito eh. Nagdadrama sila dito, no? Kasi, nag-announce kasi yung kampo ng Cayetano, no? Ng mga majority ni Cayetano na mga senador sa Blue Ribbon Committee headed by Pia Cayetano, no? At yung vice natin ay si Senator Marcoleta, correct me if I'm wrong, gagawa na naman sila ng Blue Ribbon Committee at ipapatawag na naman yung mga sangkot, no? Invited nga si Romualdez at yung ilan pang mga big fish. At invited siguro na naman ang mga 18 ex-Marines kasi sabi nila may bago silang pasabog na bagong ebidensya. Okay? Ako, naniniwala ako, tiniming ito nila Matibag at ni Win Gatchalian. Tiniming nila ito. Kasi may direktiba sila na ano raw, yung mga nagtatrabaho doon. Correct me if I'm wrong, may nagsasabi sa akin na online na lang sila magtatrabaho. I think, duda ako rito, ginagawa nila ito kasi para hindi na makapasok itong 18 ex-Marines. Kasi nasasaktan sila every time na itong mga 18 ex-Marines na ito ay kung meron na naman silang ibubulgar na mga nakatanggap ng maleta. Kasi siguro, duda ko dyan nare-realize siguro ng Gatchalian Block, itong mga Bangag 11, nare-realize, Bangag 11 plus 1. Yung plus 1 dyan, si Kilay. Nare-realize siguro nila na habang tumatagal itong mga 18 ex-Marines, mukhang dumami ang mga ebidensya. Kasi grabe yung ebidensya. May pinost na naman si Attorney Baligod yung kasi tinawag ni Raffy Tulfo na kargador raw itong mga 18 ex-Marines. Doon sa Facebook page ni Attorney Baligod, nagpakita na naman siya ng picture doon ng mga ebidensya na itong mga 18 ex-Marines nung time na sila pa talaga ay sundalo. Dahil doon sa post na yon, napahiya po si Raffy Tulfo. Kasi tunay na mga sundalo itong mga 18 ex-Marines at meron pong resibo, merong ebidensya na sila po ay nakipag-bakbakan sa mga kaaway ng gobyerno. So, pahiya si Raffy Tulfo nang sinabi niyang basura at kargador raw. Walang hiya ang mga Tulfo Kaya I believe in my own opinion, itong gagawin nila ni Matibag at ni Gatchalian, nagdududa po ako, haharangin na naman nila itong mga 18 ex-Marines. Boo! Boo! Ay nako, yan lang talaga yung kaya nila Okay? Yan lang talagang kaya nila.